Hello out there, fourth grade distance learners. So happy that you are here joining me via this video today. We are talking about projection maps. We're specifically talking about the Arthur Robinson projection map. Please know that there are many cartographers. Cartographers are map makers. So there are many map makers, cartographers, that have made their own style of maps, and we just happen to be studying right now the Robinson model. He was an American cartographer, and he is what our book series chose to use. Please know that there are many. Now, it's called a projection map because we are taking the round globe of the Earth and putting it on a flat sheet of paper. So we need to project the globe, continents, and oceans onto a flat map. How do we do that? Well, simply we take the sphere of the Earth and we wrap around the sphere paper. And then you project the different points onto the paper, and then you unroll the paper from around the globe, and you have the projection map. Now, it looks awesome. This is probably what you've seen like in Google Maps or in any classroom that you pull down or any internet search. But there is a lot wrong with this. And you're saying, what are you talking about, Mr. Askey? This looks amazing. It looks great. Well, there is something called distortion. When you project a map from the round globe to the flat surface, you get a lot of distortion. It can either be in size, it can be in shape, it can be in distance traveled. So there are a lot of distortions that occur when you go from the round sphere to the flat map. Now, you're going to notice that today there's a little bit something unique on our sheet. I hope you clicked this top video because that's what you're watching me right now. But there's a second video link right here. And this is a video that really explains how you go from that sphere to flat map and how that creates distortion. I did a nice job with my hands doing this. It's kind of fun to do. Try that at home. Super fun. But this video does it technologically with video imaging. They do a great job. Check that second link out after this video. Watch that. It's a 6-minute video. It's awesome, and it shows how maps are distorted. And that's really what we're talking about today, is the distortion of this map. If you look here, Greenland looks huge. It looks probably half the size of Africa. In real life, Greenland is 1/14th the size of Africa. Again, the video explains it and shows it very well, but you can see that there is distortion there. Please also notice that it's a flat map, but they curved this edge because they wanted to keep the sides of the map square. So when you keep it square, then you lose some distortion. And so keeping the map on a flat piece of paper, but yet not distorting and making the North Pole and the South Pole so drastically different, they did this. Now, Antarctica is nowhere near this big. I'll tell you right now, this is the biggest distortion on the map of our Robinson map is Antarctica, because it gets spread out so far like that. It is nowhere near that big. There are nowhere near enough penguins that could cover Antarctica. There are a lot of penguins, but not as many as it would show on this map. It is oval shaped, and the land and water areas are most greatly distorted at the poles. So the poles are where it gets distorted the most, and the equator is where it's distorted the least. So the further you get away from the equator, the further you get. Alrighty, let's talk. This was a projection map, and there are a spot here where the equator and the prime meridian meet, and that is where it separates our western and northern hemisphere, our eastern and northern hemisphere, our southern and western hemisphere, and our southern and eastern hemisphere. Notice that at this intersection of the equator and prime meridian, on this map, that is exactly 90 degrees. That is perpendicular. Some maps make every single line of latitude and longitude meet at a perpendicular line. They do that especially in Google Maps, and I found that interesting in the video. You're going to see that they do that because it makes it easier for navigation directions. So that's super cool. This one has a little bit of curve into it. So the Robinson map has a little bit of curve compared to our Google Maps. So Interesting little fact there. Hey, let's read through our questions. What is the system of mapping the round Earth on a flat surface called? What is the making of the round to the flat called? I used that P word a couple times. It's on the top of the sheet. If you scroll up, you can totally find it. Is it true or false that the Robinson projection shows land and water areas without distorting them? Are they distorted or not? Oh, true. They are not distorted. False. They are totally distorted. You tell me. Tuesday. In which ocean do the equator and prime meridian meet? Find the ocean where the equator lines up with the prime meridian. What ocean is that? Which continent is divided in half by the prime meridian? Be careful. I'll tell you right now, it's not Africa. Africa is not cut in half by the prime meridian. Check that one out. I had to double check my work on that one. Wednesday. How many continents lie partly or completely south of the equator? And I want to scroll up for Wednesday because here's the equator and here's another tricky one. These islands out here, are they part of Asia or Australia? Because that makes a difference. They're part of Asia. Don't tell anyone. So please know that Asia should be counted in that count. How many continents are south of the equator? Partly or completely. So Asia is. That's a tricky one. Number 6, most of the contiguous United States falls between which two lines of latitude? So you're going to find the two lines of latitude and which fall the United States between. Please know that contiguous means the states are touching. So we don't count Alaska and we don't count Hawaii because they are not touching any other state in our great country. So here is the United States. Find where we would fall on the map right there. The contiguous United States. Thursday. Is most of the United States on the same latitude as Africa, Australia, or Asia? So same latitude, like a ladder. So which one are we across from? Which one do we line up best with? Africa, Australia, or Asia? Again, scroll up. You can totally find that one. Which continent includes the address of 15 degrees south latitude and 60 degrees west latitude? Now, please notice that I put the little circle in there. That's the degree symbol. And I wrote out the word degrees as well. On your responses, it's probably easiest for you just to type out degrees, and I wanted you to have that spelling there. Which continent has an address that includes all 4 latitude and longitude directions? Which continent has all 4? It's in the northwestern hemisphere, it's in the northeastern hemisphere, it's in the southwestern hemisphere, and the southeastern hemisphere. Which continent is in all 4? I did share that earlier in the video. Rewind if you need to. You can totally crush that one. Number 10, which ocean covers the most area shown on the Robinson projection map? So look at the oceans. Which one looks the largest according to our Robinson projection map? Lastly, bonus, click this link right here. This is to go to the True Size Of website. This website is mentioned in the video above, and it's super fun to play around with. What it says is grab the United States map that's highlighted and move it towards the North and South Pole. What happened to the highlighted map? So if you click on this link, it will pull up this site. What you need to do is just click away. Just click the X of there, and then grab the United States and move it around. If you want, you can use your fingers to highlight it, to make it bigger and smaller by pinching on your touchpad, or if you have a mouse, you can use the roll. But here's the United States, and what happens as we move it to and from, and you can move it all over and see what happens to it. You can do the same thing with India. You can do the same thing with China. How does China actually compare with the United States? Whoa, China is a little bit bigger than us, but very similar. And then watch what happens as it gets distorted. So play around with these, super fun. You can also type in the name of any country you want and then move it around on the map. One thing that I like to do, and they mention it in the video, is Greenland. And as you start to type in Greenland, it auto-populates. Click on it and then pull that around. And you can see that Greenland, oops, I gotta pull my map here. Greenland is nowhere near the same size as Africa, even though on the map, wow, that looks pretty close, nowhere near the same size. So check those things out. Mess around with it, super fun. When you are finished, please type your answer here. What happens to the United States as it goes towards the North Pole or the South Pole? Put that on there. As always, friends, I host Tuesdays and Thursdays a study group at noon. You're welcome to join me for a Google Hangout. Super fun. And please get all 10 questions answered before you hit submit. Do not submit this assignment until you have answered all 10 questions. There's still a couple of you out there that do that, and I wanted to give that as a reminder. Remember, you can do all 10 today, get them done, turn it in. You don't have to worry about it the rest of the week, or you can work 2 every day, just like some of you do, and I'm super cool with that, as long as you remember to turn in your best work at the end of the week. Friends, Week 7, working with the Robinson projection map. You have the best day.